everyone, and welcome to Wingcat Sports. It's our Lions versus Cowboys post game. The Cowboys ended up being the Lions 20-19. Obviously, I think they're just going for it to avoid injuries at the end of the game. But I think they should have won. It looked like Decker did report in the replay, and they just didn't realize it. And Decker would have gotten that.
Or they were trying to lean it towards Dallas's favor. There were a lot of questionable calls in that game that favored Dallas. I think. Yeah. They haven't lost a home game all season, so keep the streak going.
Haven't lost a home game since the first game of 2022.
Oh, really? I did not know that.
It's been a while on Dallas's part, but I don't think you can be upset about the defense. Cam Sutton didn't do his best against CD Lamb, but CD just had your number today. He was their only form of offense too. Outside of CD Lamb, no receiver got more than 60 yards and had more than 5 touches. CD Lamb had 13 for 227 just by himself.
It's just a letdown the way the game ended. You know, we all said that they're division champs no matter what. They're going to host a playoff game, but it would have been nice to get a win today. On the defensive side, like Harold said, Cam Sutton usually is a solid guy. He was awful today. He had no answer for Lamb at all. One of the positive notes, Aiden Hutchinson earned his paycheck today. 3 sacks.
Tied what he had last year.
Yep. Bunch of hurries. I can't say enough good things about that guy today. Hats off to you. You and Melifontu or Melifufu. I have trouble pronouncing his name. Just played great on defense today. As far as offense goes, that's, I think, where we lost the game.
Yeah.
Jared Goff, I don't want to get on the Goff sucks bandwagon because he really doesn't, but he really had a bad game today. He was off. His throws weren't there. The offensive line just didn't seem to have an answer for the defense, the Dallas's defensive rush. They stopped the run a bunch of times, pressured Goff. I think a few of the interceptions that Goff threw were a result of that. And I really question some of Dan Campbell's decisions, which we'll get into. You were chasing your refusal to go and kick a field goal early on and have a 7-6 game. You ended up chasing those points all day. And at the end of it, you could have just kicked a field goal at the end of it to win this game. I personally, after that one penalty, which was suspect, I don't know if Decker reported in or not. But you had 2 more tries. I eventually would have just kicked the field goal. But most Lions fans, these guys included, are going to tell you, hey, we're division champs. We already got a playoff spot. Really didn't matter. Just go for it. It was just a letdown for me.
Oh, I mean, I said after they beat Minnesota last week, the last 2 games really were just kind of like, I just wanted them to stay healthy. I just want them to get to the playoffs healthy. I think this show, they can play with the big boys. I don't want to go to Philly. So actually, this might work out for the best if that Dallas wins their division. That's the only thing over the last 2 games I wanted to do was not let Philly get ahead of us. And it doesn't look like they're going to now.
Yeah. Well, may I add something real quick? If Goff plays like that in the playoffs,
we
just
don't.
Absolutely screwed.
Well, yeah. But also,
that's what we get out of it.
If you would have went out today,
I hope this is the last of it.
If you would have went out today and kicked Dallas's butt, chances are, if you faced them again in the playoffs, they would have beat you. No, they would have beat you.
Yeah,
because you now know where you're at. You know what you need to do if you face Dallas. You got the film on them. You know where your weakness is at. That's all. And you played with probably one of the best teams in the NFC.
Yep.
At least the top 3. You played with them toe-to-toe. Should have won the game.
One of the better defenses.
I think the refs were horrible in this game for the most part.
You didn't see the half of it, though. Oh, my God.
I think, like I said, we have nothing to be ashamed of here. We showed we could play with these guys.
Yep.
even better than them. I
Yeah.
didn't think that was possible. Honestly, I thought this was going to be a pretty easy game for Dallas. I thought they were going to kick the crap out of us.
We all predicted this was going to be a loss at the beginning of the year, so I mean, it doesn't
Right.
really hurt any of our predictions. But like I said, when it comes down to it, I think
It's just a letdown.
it gives your defense some hope that you think the defense might be on the right track, especially with getting some of the bigger guys back. And hopefully offensively, you see where you're going. I think a lot of the going for it on fourth down was seeing where your faults might be at with a very good defense. And that's why they went for it on fourth down.
They probably could have won that game even on the third try, but that throw by Goff was absolutely terrible. It was in the freaking
Was that
dirt.
the problem with him most of the years? He was inaccurate for most of the game?
He was struggling. I think he was hurried a lot. He was not throwing a tight ball.
Again,
19 for 34, 271 yards.
That is Goff's Achilles heel.
I thought that
if he doesn't have time to throw the ball, he cannot create it himself.
And that offensive line struggled. They pressured him. They got in the backfield quick. That first interception he threw, Harold thought it was a good ball, but he telegraphed it, in my opinion. The defender jumped the route. It was low. And that
I said, now you got something to correct. They're usually very good when they come off a loss. And this wasn't a bad loss. I mean, you're facing,
you
should have won.
It puts a bitter
taste in your mouth. If it wasn't for
penalties,
penalties, you wouldn't have won.
But you move on. You will move on.
And I'm sure he is going to be the first one to tell you this, that if he had played better, they would have won.
I expect people to be rested next week. J-Mo left the game a little hurt. There's a couple other guys, have been battling injuries. I don't expect them to play next week now. They will be rested for the game against Minnesota.
Yeah, I mean,
and you're going to go into the playoff healthy. You are playing the first round in the wild card. You're going to try to get healthy.
I don't care about playing San Francisco at San Francisco or Dallas in Dallas. So they're the only two that and I'm not worried about either one of them. We can beat them under the right circumstances. The NFL
just a letdown.
It is, but like I said, we could just as easily. We'll see who they're facing. I'm worried that we're going to end up having to face Stafford. But
personally, I don't think the standings are going to change. I think they're going to kind of stay the way they are, where it's going to be San Fran, Philly, us, Tampa, Dallas, LA, Seattle. I think that is the play. I don't think anyone's going to move.
Who is San Francisco playing tomorrow?
They are going to be playing Washington.
Oh, it should win.
So they're going to win. Philly, they're playing
in Washington.
I don't know where, but I don't think that matters. They're going to win.
Washington's really tough at home.
Philadelphia is playing the Cardinals, so they'll beat them.
So we think they will.
Tampa, I don't think. Tampa's the only team that might fall out, but that'd be about it.
Who is leading that division right now? Is Philadelphia's leading that division?
Yes.
So we're screwed.
Yeah.
If we get
Philadelphia's going to win that division. I think I'm going to say it because they face the Cardinals and the Giants. So you are going to be third place. Nothing else. You're going to have to accept that. You're going to probably play the Rams or the Seahawks in the first round of the playoffs.
You have to play Philly in the second.
And if you win, you're probably going to have to play Philly in the second. However, currently, they probably would be. You're going to play Philly in the second round. And then probably either if you somehow beat Philly, if we're going to think ahead and be optimistic, so somehow you beat Philly and you're in the NFC Championship game, you either will go to San Francisco or be at home against Dallas.
Well, if it goes out to where the favorites go on to the next round, Dallas will end up playing San Francisco, which San Francisco demolished them earlier in the year, and we'll have a very tough time. But if we do that, you know what? We can hang our hats and say we accomplished what we set out to do this year. We won our division. We got a home playoff game. We won our home playoff game. And that's something to hang your hat on for next year. It's something. It's a progress.
And likely you gotta remember what your schedule is going to be next year. You will be playing San Fran, Philly, and Tampa next year. Those are your out of conference number one seed in their division opponents. Those are who you're facing. And you want to keep an eye on Miami and Buffalo because you're going to play the winner of that division next year. So you might also have Miami on your schedule next year.
Yeah, I'm all for it. We just got to get
So you're
going
gonna
to
have
this
You can't
year.
do nothing about it. Every
Yeah.
year we always predict things, and usually our predictions are pretty way off because you just never know what's going to happen. Teams you think suck don't suck, and teams you think are going to be great end up stinking. So you just never know. Next year's next year. Let's just do the best we can this year. But it looks like we're going to have to probably, we'll see, one game at a time.
So I like I said, I think the divisions, the playoffs are mostly set for the NFC, in my opinion. And like I said, it's not a game to be totally upset about because of how well they did play defensively. I just think ref wise, plus maybe a couple things on offense,
There
you
were
should
a
have had the
few
game.
questionable referee calls.
It looked like it.
Like a handful.
But there's nothing we can do about it. It is what it is.
But again,
played a good game.
You go, and it's hindsight. You can see both ways. But after you got that penalty, after you tried once for the 2-point conversion, I think the smart move
just would have
been
kicked it.
to kick a field goal
because
kick the
our
extra
defense
point,
was playing good.
and go into OT and try your best to beat them. Now I understand chances are you're not going to win in OT because Goff played like shit, and that. But
I think they're also were avoiding injuries.
That's what good teams do.
Do you honestly think Decker had reported in?
Yes. You saw the replay.
How can you be
We'll
right
find this
in,
out.
How can a ref be? You can be right in the ref's face and say, "Hey, I'm lining up as a tight end or a receiver," and then he says no.
If you look at a replay, he is right next to the ref with Penny while Skipper's getting on the field.
Yeah,
we'll find this out.
It's going to be interesting how all the post game stuff from everybody else who's actually out there can see everything goes. But like I said, it's nothing.
Why would Decker be in the end zone looking for a pass if he didn't report it?
Exactly.
Yeah, he never is anyways.
Exactly.
That's never happened.
But
so I'm kind of leaning towards he did.
But there's nothing we could do.
Yeah.
It was a good game by
just
the Lions.
frustrating.
Can't be too upset.
That's basically
you don't see
Dan
nutshell. Campbell really get on the refs too much, and he was really ticked.
He was too. He was angry. I thought he was going to get kicked out for a quick second.
But he was really ticked.
You could have won it with a field goal if you would have gone for it earlier, but coulda, shoulda, woulda.
It is what it is. Like you said, you can't be upset about it too much. They played well. It should give you some confidence.
We're still playoff bound, still division champs.
Yeah. Well, with all that being said, if you like what you see, like, comment, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. Let me know what you think about the game in the comments, about all the calls that went on and how the Lions exactly played. Share the video around. And until next time, hope to see everybody soon.